Okay, so if you're watching this, we are working on our grade 10 painting project, and we're working on the rough portion of the project, which is drawing a stylized Byzantine face. For most of us, this assignment will include being a self-portrait. So a good first step before you ever start drawing is to take a selfie with your phone. Make sure that it is straight on. So don't try to give yourself a flattering angle by going from above or below. You want to be looking directly straight forward at your phone's camera. Now, while that might not be the most flattering position, it is the traditional position that most Byzantine paintings are done in. And our drawing is not going to look really anything like a realistic self-portrait because of the way our drawing is actually going to be set up. So step one, take a picture of yourself. Step two, draw a straight line down the center of your page. Now right now I don't have a ruler, so I'm just going to use any straight edge. Most of us probably don't have a ruler on hand anyway. So again, straight line and pencil down the center of the page, and then about midway through the straight line, you're going to draw another line. So you want to cross. It should look like this. Now, what we're doing is we're constructing the guidelines for our face. So when I'm doing this, this is obviously too long to be my entire face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start dashing out and blocking out the areas that I want to use. So that's going to be the top of my head. And then about the exact same width or length, I'm going to do another dash. That's going to be the other side. And then I'm going to say about here and about here. The important part is that they're equal, and these lines are guidelines, so that means they're not set in stone. We can change them as the drawing evolves. So a good place to start, and the reason we have these little guidelines, is to create an oval. And our oval is going to have a flatter top when it comes down. So you start with kind of like a half circle up here. And then when it comes down here, it's going to taper down. Okay, and again, we're trying to get the general shape of a face. Now, you want, more than anything, for these various sections to be equal to each other. So you want this side to look like this side, and this side to look like this side. That's the most important part. Now, if you have not done that, and your oval looks weirdly misshapen, please start over until it looks like this. Okay, do not continue on until your oval is a good size. The main reason for that is we're building the foundation of our face. If you build on top of a unstable foundation, the entire thing's going to collapse. Same thing with the drawing. This first step has to be fairly right, otherwise the rest is not going to work. Now, we have the basic shape of our face. We're going to put in our neck, just so that we don't have to worry about it later. And when we do that, we're not going to give ourselves a tiny neck. Our neck pretty much extends off the face. So about right here and about right here, that is our neckline. It's going to come down straight, and then it's going to do a gentle curve out. Okay. Now, it might be our instinct or our desire to give ourselves a very slim neck. Don't bother. It very rarely looks realistic. So if you look at your own face and your own neck, and even the picture that you just took, you should be able to see that your neck is pretty thick, so that like it comes in from your face, but it's generally solid and well shaped. Now, these lines are guidelines we're going to use again, and we're going to break the face up into sections. So here we're going to break into 3. So very gently with your pencil, 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 sections here. Then we're going to do the same over here. We're going to break it into 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you should have 6 fairly equal sections. They won't be exact because faces aren't exact. So if I look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So step 1 is to start blocking in the different features. So between the 2 and 4, you're going to do the bridge of your nose. And we do this by using basic shapes. At this point, I'm not expecting anybody to be a master of self-portraits, but so we're going to use what looks like a big bracket. Okay, so you're going to put in brackets. Then between 4 and 5, pretty much right in between, you're going to put a V and then 2 mini brackets. Now, we're going to adjust this later based on your selfie, but this is the basic structure of a face. So some people have wider noses, some people have narrow noses. This is just how we're starting, and then we're going to start tapering our different features. Okay, so the line number 2, those are our eyebrows. So again, using that bracket shape, you're going to put those in. And then between 5 and 6, that is our mouth. And I'm going to put a line in to hold a spot for that as well. And then 6 is actually our chin. And we're going to put that in. And then the last thing I'm going to add before we start working on the eyes is you should add your ears in. So ears, if you look at your own face, ears are about your eyebrow and they end at about your nose. So we're going to use lines 2 and 4 for that. And we're just going to, again, use that bracket shape and gently block in ears that don't really look like ears yet. We're just trying to block in features. Now, the very last thing we're going to do is block in the eyes, and that is going to go in the space between 2 and 3. And the idea is you're supposed to be able to fit 5 eyes across. So we're going to obviously not draw in 5 eyes, but you're going to draw in a shape like an oval in the middle of that section. So then I'm going to do the same thing over here. And please keep in mind that we, again, are going to adjust this. Okay, so if you look at this feature or this figure looks fairly male to me. That's because these features are, again, very, very simple and basic. And then since I'm a woman, I'm going to feminize a lot of these features. If you're male, you might want to keep some of these features, but you might, again, might not. So I'm using this picture as a reference, which is the picture I took. And now I'm going to look at my own features and I'm going to start adding things. So one of the things that I noticed right away is that my eyebrows do not have this curved shape. They kind of go up. So I'm going to look at my picture and I'm going to start either narrowing down brows in certain areas or thickening them in others. Okay, and you can use your eraser as well to give your features a more precise shape. And again, this is just about refining these features and getting them in. Now my eyes, I have Asian descent, so I don't have eye folds. Some of you might. So what you're going to do is you're going to start at the corner of the eye and you're going to shape the top of the eye. So because I don't have an overlapping eye fold, I can just go like this. And then if you look at the bottom of my eye, it's kind of an almondy shape. So I'm going to play off that as well. So I'm going to take this and then I'm going to make sure it tapers up. And I'm going to repeat that on the other side as well. Okay, now the next thing I'm looking at is my nose. So my nose goes down, it's kind of looped, and then a little bit there. So my nose has to narrow out much more than this. So I'm using my guidelines, and again, I'm taking my nose down and narrowing it out, and this is where the Byzantine style starts coming into play. Their nose bridges were very obvious when they were drawing them. So I'm going to smooth this out, do a smaller nose bridge, and then bring it down and erase the original, of course. And then the last thing I'm going to fix before I start adjusting all the other areas is my mouth. So again, I have a Cupid's bow, most people do. And then my lips go to about midway through my eyes. So I start here, I do the top lip, then I do the bottom. So if you look, just those little adjustments, and again, I'm looking at my picture, are already feminizing my features a bit. So I'm just going to put in my eyeballs. I'm not going to do any of the detail yet. Then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start to alter the shape of my face. So if I look here, my face curves down and then my chin's a little bit flat and my chin doesn't have this gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my chin up a little bit and then I'm going to use my pencil to try and create a more accurate version of my face. So shaves some of the off the sides here and then it's going to go here to about my chin. And one of the big things, and probably one of the hardest things, is paying attention to what your features actually look like opposed to what you want them to look like. So you might not like the shape of your eyes. You might not like the shape of your face, or you might have certain features that you don't find that flattering. The important part is to try to look beyond that and just pay attention to what you're actually drawing, opposed to what you want to see. And that's actually a lot harder than you think it is. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is spend the rest of my time refining these features. And this can take a long while, so I'm not going to make you watch the entire time. But now that you have these basic features, you're going to keep looking at your picture. You're going to keep adding things and taking things away, trying to make it look more like you. If your nose bridge is wider, you may need to extend that. If your eyes have lids, unlike mine, you might need to add those like this. Look at the selfie that you took, and again, be as realistic as possible. And even with my hair, pulling my hair back, that's important as well. So once you're finished your pencil drawing, to the best of your ability, what you're going to do in the next part is look at Byzantine jewelry and Byzantine clothing in the examples that I've given you, and you're going to add those in. Okay, but doing this pencil drawing should take a lot of time and a lot of effort. You want to make it as realistic as possible, and that might mean going back into it numerous times, looking at your picture over and over again, and continuously refining until you get what you want.